Empezamos.
Good morning, teacher and classmates. My name is Osiris and my partner,
Ángel Rodríguez.
and we are going to talk about the literature and language teaching.
Okay, thank you, Siri. So, first of all, we have to know what is literature. Literature is used by writer to express his or her ideas about something. It could be by process, history, poem, and different things related with the literature that we already know. But first, something that we have to know is that the literature is not was only by letters. Before years ago, the literature was used by symbols and images, used by the first people who lived in all the world in different countries. So the literature have been changing during the years. For that reason, the literature is more different and interesting during the past and the time. Language teaching. Language teaching grammar translation methods was the most popular and widely used method for language teaching between the age of 1840 to 1940. But this method was first used for teaching and learning Latin language, which was not the language of common use at that time. Latin was considered a classic language. So, first of all, we know that the first language right now is the English, but before the Latin was considered a classic language. We already know that the English, the most important language in the world right now, is like the commercial language that we use to in our business or something like this. And we're getting the language teaching. We already know the language teaching is the way that to learn a second language. For example, to know a different language, you have to know that this is composed by grammar, vocabulary, and pronouns, and all the things that a language is related. So the language teaching for us is so important because if we want to know a different language, we have to study all the things that this language eh, contains. For example, language teaching is considered a branch from the applied linguistics. So the applied linguistics study the language from the beginning on and during the past of the year until now. So also the role of the literature in the language teaching. Literature generally used in English language teaching for the development of knowledge about the language. It help the learners to get familiar with the socio-political background of third language society, and also made the students understand how communication takes place in a particular community. The role of the literature in language teaching. So, how we can get in the literature in the language teaching? The literature, as already said, have been changing during the years. The language teaching let us to know a different language. If we read a history from more or less from 10 years ago, we could understand what the history try about. But with the literature in the language teaching, we are able to understand what this means. For example, this that help us to know new words, different words that we didn't know right now. But if we study a little bit deeper the language, it's possible that we understand the major of the things that a language contains. For that reason, the language teaching is related with the literature. And my partner Osiri will be talking about this. The microphone is
Oh, thanks. My name is Osiris, as you know, and now I'm going to talk about the relation between literature and language teaching. So before I want to say what is the relation between literature and grammar in the language teaching. So because even the grammar is referred to sounds and symbols, and literature is more focused on letters. They have a great relation in the language teaching. So because let's say an example, if we are a teacher, we don't just explain the grammar, and we don't just explain the grammar. We explain the grammar and also try to look for a paragraph or sentence that have that have a sentence that have the grammars that we teach. Let's say if we explain the present perfect, we try to look for a paragraph that have some sentence that have a present perfect. In this case, we are we are working together. We're working with literature and grammar together. The most common method to teach was the translation method. So in the translation method, the teachers enfocate in the translate word by word. So in they tried in this case they explain the grammar and then put a paragraph or a text sentence and try to translate word by word, and like this try to the student notice new words and how the words are collocated in different grammars. So put there another picture of another topic. Okay, literature during language teaching. So the most clear example that I could give you to teach another language and to include literature is the comprehension method. So in this case, we can put the students. Okay, we explain the grammar, and we teach or we translate some words that for the student that they know those words, and then we try to look to take the student to make a paragraph or to make a composition. That's why in this case we are trying to put the student to make an imagination using the words that we translate. In this case, we are using translation method and use the grammar that we teach. And that's why I said that literature and grammar have a big relation in the language teaching. And that's why when the students make a composition, the composition as they write the composition, that makes that they are using literature, or we are using literature in this case, and then we make the student to to use to use the language, to 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 use the words that they learned. And that's why we said that literature is speaking is is important in the language teaching. Thank you so much. That's my part of my exposition.
thank you so much. This all that that we talk, and we hope that you could understand all that we said.
Yeah.
Uh,